I'm a little bit afraid.
I'm not in the boma, and I really want to be. I'm really pumped. We're running. Things can go wrong really quickly.
Thanks God I'm still alive, huh?
Wanted. Wildlife veterinarians to capture and move wild animals. Applicants must be willing to work long hours in severe environments and highly dangerous situations. Meet Ellen Mesner-Rogers and Jorge Paredes. Two young doctors just crazy enough to answer such an ad. Join them in South Africa as they learn firsthand from Dr. Cobus Rath and a team of other game capture specialists the challenges and triumphs of modern-day conservation.
It's going to be the experience of a lifetime.
On the Great African Wildlife Rescue. It's early morning in late August when Ellen and Jorge arrive at Kalahari Hemsbok National Park. They have come here to capture and move a herd of one of Africa's most peculiar-looking creatures, the wildebeest.
These animals, the wildebeest, they're strong, they are fast, and they have potential weapons, the two horns, two big and long horns.
Antelope in general and wildebeest specifically are really interesting creatures. Each time we work with a new species, it's amazing, and you feel that sense of respect all over again.
Wildebeest are often seen roving in massive migratory herds. In some areas of Africa, hundreds of thousands of these distinct-looking animals can be found traveling together in search of food and water. Roaming in such great numbers makes the wildebeest a prime target for predators. Today's mission is to capture a herd of wildebeest. They will then be brought to one of South Africa's newest wildlife reserves, Marakele National Park. This healthy herd will serve as a founder population for the park. Ellen and Jorge are working with their teacher, Dr. Cobus Rath, and helicopter pilot Piet Otto. Along with a crew of local park rangers, the team will construct a massive capture device known in Africa as a boma. The first step in building a boma is deciding where to put it. And in a capture like this, wind direction is everything.
You think about the possibility like this as well, Pete?
Yeah, no, the thing is we've got no option. We can either build it this way or that way, but it's got to be here. Yeah.
This boma is a giant V-shaped enclosure, up to 5 football fields in length. It is used to funnel a herd of animals into a corral or onto a truck. The wind must be blowing into the mouth of the boma. Otherwise, the animals will smell the presence of humans and avoid entering the enclosure altogether. Once a site has been selected, the crew can begin construction.
So we have to be sure that we have everything we need with us, and then we start organizing the people who has specific work to do, and then give them a hand just to make them feel also that we are part of the team.
While the crew continues the long and strenuous task of building the boma, the helicopter sets out to find a nearby herd of wildebeest. Once the wildebeest have been caught, they will be driven 700 kilometers from the semi-arid Kalahari to Marakele National Park.
This is the first time I'm involved in setting up a boma like this, and I'm surprised by how much work is involved. It's the Kalahari. It's a desert. It's arid. It's really sandy. There's no shade anywhere. It's hard work. It's really heavy, heavy work.
This type of boma will take an entire day to build. Dozens of poles must first be pounded into the ground
Next one.
and then anchored by railway ties buried deep in the orange sand. Finally, plastic curtains, which serve as the walls of the enclosure, are hung from the frame. While the crew completes the building of the boma, helicopter pilot Pete Otto spots a herd of wildebeest.
Yeah, they're in the riverbed going south. I don't know, they've probably run out on the eastern side.
As the helicopter drives the wildebeest into the boma, long curtains are pulled closed one after another, preventing the herd from running away. From here, the animals will be guided onto a waiting truck.
The boma is huge, and just the mouth is 200 meters across, and it's even deeper than that. It's probably 500 meters deep. It's huge, and we built it in a day.
The boma is strategically built on the downside of a hill. This way, the animals cannot see the enclosure until they are already inside. In every herd of wildebeest, there is a leader. This is the animal the entire herd will follow. The pilot targets the leader, then gently goads him into the mouth of the boma. Pete must also keep an eye on his speed. It is critical for the health of the animals that he not push them into running faster than they normally do.
You can't do this type of capture without a helicopter. You have to have a helicopter to drive these animals into the boma.
It is the noise and position of the helicopter that shepherds the wildebeest inside.
Because I'm both inexperienced and I'm a woman, I've been asked to sit out the first one. I'd really, really like to be in there. I'm not that concerned about the danger. I want to be running one of those curtains because it seems to me that that's where the excitement is.
As Pete steers the helicopter closer, Jorge and the team are hidden in the curtains, wondering whether the herd will make the crucial turn into the mouth of the boma.
When the group is getting near to the boma, you can feel the ground shaking and the smell on the air of these animals.
Timing is critical. If the first curtain is not closed at the precise moment, the crew will lose the entire herd. The wildebeest have been trapped in the final compartment of the boma. Captures are stressful for all animals, sometimes even fatal. So wildlife professionals have learned to do everything they can to minimize the stress. The team will let the wildebeest rest before urging them onto the truck.
The curtains act as a barrier. Once they're closed, those animals are caught. Even though physically they could probably get through them, they won't. It's just a psychological barrier to them.
The last step in this capture is to get the wildebeest out of the holding area and onto the truck. To do this, the crew uses a handheld curtain to guide the animals on board.
Once the curtains are closed, you can't see anything. You can't see the action at all. And that's not Jorge's style. He wants to be where the action is. This is why he's here. No one's told him not to, so he goes and grabs the curtain.
I'm going to help them to get the whole group into the truck, but I'm not really sure it's going to work because with wild animals, you never know.
The wildebeest have been pressed aboard the truck. The problem is the crew was so successful that they have caught more animals than the transport vehicle can handle. A group of wildebeest must wait for the second vehicle to pull into place. Each wildebeest weighs between 200 and 250 kilograms. There are 19 wildebeest left in the enclosure. There is nothing but a plastic curtain separating our team from almost 6 tons of frightened wild animal.
They're big. I mean, they weigh a lot more than people do. They have weapons, they have horns, they have hooves, and when they think they're fighting for their lives, they can be very dangerous.
The problem that we're having now is we are giving them probably too much time to think about the options, how they can escape. This is a quite dangerous situation, but all exciting at the same time. So I'm a little bit afraid.
The second truck pulls into position. The crew is now faced with the difficult task of getting these increasingly agitated animals onto the transport vehicle.
There's a wind. The wind is blowing. And now this curtain they're holding, the wind is blowing it up. And this is bad because it's a psychological barrier. It's supposed to look like a solid wall to these animals, but it's blowing. They can see under it, they can see over it.
Call it instinct or intelligence. Animals in a confined space will always try to find a way out.
You can feel it in the face and the eyes of the animal. You can feel something is going to happen.
Like a game of follow the leader, the wildebeest break free from the boma in the wake of the first beast.
I couldn't tell if people were getting hurt or not, but I just kept thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
Thanks God I'm still alive, huh? It was quite a big emotion, strong emotion. And the bad thing is that probably we lost them for today. We'll have to wait until tomorrow. So I hope we have better luck tomorrow anyway.
I was up on the hill so I could see everything, and I saw the wildebeest not wanting to be herded, and they had the curtain up, and they were pushing it, and suddenly one just decided, the hell with this, and came through the curtain, and they all followed. And it was just like a steeplechase over all of the curtains. And several people got jumped over. I don't think anybody actually got hit, but it was pretty exciting. There's no way we're going to catch another one today. It's too late. You know, those guys they're off. They're not coming back.
The walls and curtains of the boma will be taken down for the night, only to be reassembled in the morning when the team must begin the process all over again.
Yeah, Jeff, I've got this desert in my throat.
Things can go wrong really quickly. Things can go from being a perfect capture to an absolute disaster in an instant.
You make a mistake in that date, it will cost you the whole capture, will cost you a life, an animal's life or a worker life. So in this kind of business, mistakes are quite expensive.
Okay, Jorge, well, seeing that you let out all the animals yesterday and couldn't keep them in, you'll have to redo it today, eh?
It's Ellen's turn today, so it's her job.
Yeah, sorry, okay. Well, you know, that's game capture. Some days you win and some days you lose.
From my view, it looked like the wind was really causing a problem because the curtain that you were hand-holding to try to push them kept blowing so they could see over that.
Sure, or underneath it, you know, yeah. So they knew that there were some weaknesses in the system, and they're clever, as you could see.
Yeah.
When they were running up and down, they would find that weak spot,
Yeah.
you know, and go for it.
Today we must cut a new group because that group that we wanted to get yesterday, they will not go in again.
No, they won't come in again. And fortunately, you know, on the way here we saw another group of 15, and the pilots will definitely go for that group because they don't know the boma, they don't know the site. But the others that got out yesterday, you'll never get them back here. You know, they're too clever.
Today, Ellen will be assisting Dr. Michael Koch in closing the curtains.
If you just grab this
I'm working with one of the vets from Zimbabwe, and he's done this a lot of times, so he's giving me some directions of how to pull it and things.
Piet, Otto and Kovas locate a new herd of animals and immediately radio their position to the ground.
Okay. You've got a radio, Mike?
Yeah.
You guys pretty square. You've got all your teams?
Yeah, we've got two on this side and two this side.
Okay, Mike.
What channels is radio going to be on?
4.
As the helicopter pushes the herd, tensions are running high inside the boma. Will this group of wildebeest act according to plan? Or will the crew be faced with another situation like the one they endured the day before?
We get the call, and I'm really pumped. We're running.
As the animals were heading towards the final curtain, one brazen wildebeest split from the herd.
Apparently one of the wildebeests separated from the others, and now he's running around between two of the curtains. So he comes right by me and goes for the cameraman.
Trapped and alone, there is no telling what this animal will do in an attempt to escape. So the crew approaches cautiously.
It's a lot of effort for just one animal, but seeing that one go and seeing all the curtains close behind him shows you how it's supposed to work. He's in.
Yeah, he's got.
He's in.
To prevent the wildebeests from harming each other and to keep them calm on their journey, the capture team immediately inject the animals with a mild tranquilizer. The drug is administered through a pole syringe, a handy device that allows the crew to inject each animal while maintaining a safe distance.
Well, this was a nice and safe capture for the animals and for everybody. Good day.
The crew managed to capture another 15 wildebeest, including one rebellious bull who reminded Ellen and Jorge just how unpredictable wild animals can be. It will not take this herd of wildebeest long to adjust to their new home in Marikeli National Park. And in time, the animals will re-establish their presence in this area.
There are a couple lessons learned in this one. Sometimes I would feel like, how come I'm not getting to do what Jorge gets to do? And it wasn't that they were saying, don't let the woman do it, but it was much more, Jorge was just doing it. The other lesson is you can never assume that things are just going to work the way they're supposed to. We were really, really lucky that no one got hurt.
Here I came into South Africa and I wanted to get into the action. But actually, today, I must admit that I got a really big fright. I will always remember this day.
Coming up on the Great African Wildlife Rescue.
With the giraffe capture, we are dealing with a very strong, but at the same time fragile animal.
It wasn't until we were almost to the giraffe that I realized there's something wrong.
I was quite excited. It's something that is difficult to describe.
We're gonna not just move these animals, but we're gonna save their lives.